Hello once again. Welcome back. Wherever you may be, however you feel, what your reality is. You are now in the alleged reality. We're here on a Friday. It's August 24th. Kicking it live and funky for you. Coming to you from the great state of Maine. Augusta is the big city up there. We're going to go over a couple things with that. As always with me is our good man, John, over there. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Over here in the corner, our anything correspondent, the good man, Super Duper Dave.
All right. Hey, guys. How y'all doing? Thank you. All right. It's okay.
The crowd is not happy with that.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay.
It is a marathon, not a sprint. It is Friday, August 24th. It's a good day for Fridays, I think, the 24th. It is now. Anyways, we're here in Augusta, Maine. Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Maine, we were looking up to follow on a path that we've been going on with some different stuff of silly laws that they have.
Oh, really?
In the great state of Maine. Maine actually is where Stephen King is from. I'm sure y'all know that.
He writes a lot about the fictional town of Castle Rock.
Oh, have you seen that show?
I have not.
Holy hell.
Wouldn't have that been a great segue, though?
It would have been.
Do I need to watch that show now?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have not watched Castle Rock, it's all Stephen King, too. It's pretty crazy. So that's definitely a good show to check out. But it's all, he obviously comes up with all his crazy shit from living in that state where death is all anybody has to think about up there. They also have some really retarded laws, and we pulled a few of them up.
You don't say.
In the state of Maine, if for some reason you are under Native American attack, bring your shotguns to church.
Yep.
That's a law.
Finally.
It's on the books in Maine.
Your shotguns.
If you're under Native American attack, bring your shotguns to church. Because that's where it all goes down.
So if you have a pistol, they're like, no, that doesn't count.
No
We
no
say
pistols.
Shotgun.
No pistols. Shotguns.
This is a 2-barrel party only.
That's 2-barrel.
I just have a bow and arrow. Nope, sorry. We said shotguns.
That's right.
Weed.
Another retarded law, and the reason why I say it's a retarded law, no offense, retarded people.
Yeah, can we just say goofy?
No, I'm going retarded on this one.
Go ahead.
Good.
They felt the need to put this on paper, decide on it in a public forum, take a vote, and cancel this out. You may not step out of a plane in flight.
What?
So if a plane
What if I really
is in flight,
Yeah.
What if I gotta go?
Do you need to tell them that? If they do it,
now some laws are
you almost
created
deserve that.
and they're ridiculous, but you're like, we have to make a law because these people keep doing this stuff. How many people are stepping out of a plane while it's flying and enough to them to have to make a law?
All right, well, let me ask if this is more generally like a ban on parachuting or skydiving.
Oh.
No, it doesn't say that though.
Oh, it doesn't say that?
It doesn't say that.
Well, this is probably an abbreviated version of the law.
Maybe.
But you just maybe hit the nail on the head. Maybe it's illegal to skydive in Maine.
I mean, because that would make more sense than just like, here's my stop, guys. Later.
We have a big problem about someone just opening the door to the plane and flight and sucking everyone out.
Fuck you.
Then we have to fine them, but they can't pay it because they're dead.
Yeah, you just made actual sense out of that, which is a little less fun. I like to think that there's just people going over the state of Maine and just like, I'm out of here.
I gotta fuck with these guys really quick. Kaboom.
There's one way to stop this is to fine them.
That is a law. Another law in the great city of Augusta, Maine. It is illegal to stroll down the street playing a violin.
I love this one.
It's illegal to stroll down the street playing a violin.
Yeah. Who's in charge of what a stroll is?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Come on, he was clearly strutting. That was not a stroll.
Yeah.
It was,
He was skipping.
Your Honor, it was more of a canter.
And who's the cop sitting there going like, "Hey, Jerry, would you call that a stroll or a strut?"
Looks like a strut to me, Your Honor.
I don't know, man.
It was a sprint. Well, you weren't moving very fast. I'm big.
Holy shit, he did a cartwheel. Call the SWAT team.
You can't stroll down the street playing violin. Now, the clarinet, go right ahead.
Ooh, what about a fiddle?
If you can stroll down the street with a tuba, you deserve to play it.
Absolutely. Or a xylophone.
Isn't
the entire intro to Curb Your Enthusiasm a tuba?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know the difference between a violin and a fiddle?
They're the same thing.
Exactly.
I believe they're the exact same thing depending on what kind of music you're playing.
That's the
like
only
normally
difference.
Bluegrass and country is a fiddle.
I'll tell you what the
classic
difference is.
is a violin.
I'll tell you exactly what the difference is.
We're all ears.
Your family's history of incest.
Yeah,
so you're north of the Mason-Dixon line. That's violin.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's only the only difference is how you play it. That's the difference.
Is how many uncles have banged your cousins.
Is there a banjo with it? That's a fiddle.
Probably
so.
Yeah.
Also, no person in Bidford, Maine, no person may roller skate on a sidewalk. The street, go right ahead, especially if it's in traffic.
Did they watch Footloose or something? And then just say, no.
Nope.
Not in our town.
Not here, buddy. But
we don't like dancing.
Everybody, let's party.
Here's a law. It's illegal to expectorate from any second-story window. I assume expectorate is the medical version of taking a leak. Does that sound right?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
How many times have you expectorated? Is that the plural version?
I did that yesterday, but I can't off the top of my head. I don't know what it means.
I don't know either.
Expectorate.
It sounds official, and you don't want to do that.
Oh, it's the...
Is it a puke?
No, it's the clear cough and spit out.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can't spit.
That's right.
Yeah. Expectorant. No. Because an expectorant loosens up congestion in your lungs.
Phlegm?
Yeah.
Don't spit that out if you're on the second floor.
Yeah.
Third floor's fine.
If you're in France, you're good. You can throw anything off a balcony in France.
Even the babies.
The babies.
Even the babies. It is also illegal to park in front of Dunkin' Donuts in South Berwick because we need access.
Cops need someplace to park.
At all times. That's right.
Oh, so how do you go inside? Like, honey, just keep driving around the building. All right, we can't park. Tuck and roll.
In the great metropolis of Wells, Maine, it is illegal to put advertisements to be placed in cemeteries.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also that does mean that there's like probably some fucking ambulance chaser or something just like, very sorry for your loss. Do you have representation?
Yes. Well, what's the purpose of advertisements? It's to be put in front of large groups of people.
And sell your product.
And a consistent advertisement in front of people would be in a cemetery.
Yeah.
Now, most of them won't be able to see it.
Yeah, it's a little on the tacky side of advertising.
Yeah. But that's illegal.
For some reason, I'm thinking
I don't know that I've ever seen like billboards in a cemetery.
You're burying your grandmother, and they're like, "It's not clean unless it's OxyClean."
Was it Billy Mays here?
Yes. The slap chop, come on.
You're gonna love my nuts.
Yes, that's.
Yeah, they're playing. Somebody's playing taps, and
somehow in Maine is like
we're filming. We're shooting over here.
Come to south of the border. You're 800 miles away.
That place is
horrible.
the most advertised place on the face of the planet.
How do they afford those billboards?
And it's the biggest letdown.
Yes.
That's incredible.
We're also sponsored by South of the Border.
So we got a few things we're gonna touch on today. We're gonna touch on a few stories, some medical conditions. I'm gonna give you kind of a rundown thought. What did I say earlier, Dave? It's a thought rant.
A thought rant. That wasn't what
You said you'd never heard that.
No. Yeah.
A thought
Not
rant?
a thought process.
Thought rant.
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to copyright that quickly.
Yeah.
Thought rant. And I'm like, what?
What point is it to copyright something if nobody else is ever going to say it?
What you need to do is you need to copyright it, then put it on a billboard in a cemetery.
Yeah.
I was told to copyright my Weekend at Bernie's dance, and then it turned out to be a YouTube sensation.
No, that's
Believe it or not, that happened.
well, yeah, but at the same time, the Weekend at Bernie's thing was also kind of a ripoff of the Muppets to begin with, anyway.
All right, now you're splitting hairs, John. Okay?
Isn't there a new Muppets movie that's adult?
Yeah.
Well,
One of the previews I saw was very adult.
it's
with
they're not
puppets.
officially Muppets. But,
yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's not Muppets or Sesame Street.
They're
but
Muppet-esque.
Yeah, Jim Henson did not approve.
Well,
I like to think he had a pretty good sense of humor about stuff like that.
We'll never know.
I think it's gonna be hilarious. I have to watch it.
Yeah, but we've got some people in power
Happy
also.
Time. Something
Happy Time Murders.
Happy
Yeah.
Time Murders
Yeah.
or something like that.
We got some people in important positions that are doing some interesting things, which I don't know if it's always been the case that people were doing these crazy things, especially people in charge
Sure.
of things. Maybe just now everything is publicized because of the internet
Oh, yeah, social media.
and
yeah.
social media. So I guess we're just hearing about everything, and that goes into play with anything. It's why people don't want to let their kids out in the neighborhoods, because every single child abduction
It's dangerous.
is publicized now. I'm sure all those things were happening in the 80s, but
Right.
you know, we all grew up in a time where our parents had no clue where we were at all throughout the course of the
Street
day.
lights.
Right, well,
As long as you're home by the street lights.
They
That's right.
They had a general idea, but they're like, they're on Earth.
I don't ever remember being asked, where am I going today?
Right.
It was just be home at dark. So
Really quick, also just want to touch on one of our recurring segments. Shit we fucked up. Last episode, you may have noticed some silence at the beginning and exit of our show, and that's mostly because we got hit with a copyright infringement, whatever thing.
We made it.
Some songs you can use, some you can't. This is really my fault because I didn't look into exactly what can and can't be used. But
look,
Led Zeppelin's Kashmir is off the table.
You will no longer be hearing that song.
Duh.
Never again.
But you know what? You got to piss your pants a few times after you get out of diapers to figure it out. So that's kind of where we're at, right? Doesn't that
You
make
gotta
sense?
learn to run before you crawl, right?
I-
That makes sense, right?
I don't think I've ever heard that analogy before. But
Well, believe it or not, yeah, similar.
That's what we're doing.
Metaphor,
You-
whatever.
But you're-
One of them things.
You're right. If you listen to the last episode, that was a very awkward beginning and end. And there was music there, we promise.
The cloud got you.
The cloud. Nobody knows what the cloud
What
does.
is the cloud?
But we did figure out, sure enough, as soon as we put that up, YouTube was like, no, you will not
How
play that
dare
song.
ye play songs you did not pay for?
If you guys are listening out there, obviously, hopefully you went to our YouTube channel. It is The Alleged Reality. Also, you can reach us on our Facebook page, The Alleged Reality. Please feel free to comment and give us suggestions maybe on what you like to hear or what you have heard. Your feedback would be awesome to have, and we appreciate everybody listening out there. So
yeah,
check
absolutely.
those two things out.
110%.
That's right. And don't be scared. You can write anything.
Please do.
Let's open that barn door wide.
Come on, you trollers. Give us your words.
Come on. You know what? I was looking forward to having social media battles, and
Yeah.
we haven't had any yet. We had one guy say "Go Vols," and that's just
Go
douche.
Vols. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to the Georgia-Tennessee game.
Knoxville, wherever that's at.
Knoxville. That's right. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What are we going to get going with here? First, this is just a quick thing. As football season approaches and the NFL season is about to kick off, there's a lot of excitement about the Cleveland Browns.
I'm sorry, that was a sarcastic laugh.
They may win.
There may be no greater example of preseason misplaced excitement than this year with the Cleveland Browns, who have only won one game in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, last night's barn burner every game. Final score after 9: Indians 5, Phillies 0.
Yeah, that was 2 2-run doubles and a
I still don't look
solo
into
home
it.
run.
It's a preseason game.
Well, they went 4-0 in the preseason last year and did not win a single game.
That's the kiss of death. Anytime
That's right.
you go,
they are the subject of HBO's Hard Knocks, which is helping with the publicity of them. Every single one of their preseason games is on major network television.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of excitement. The number 1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, going to him. So to tag along with this, and Bud Light as a company is probably as creative as any outside of maybe Coca-Cola with the way that they advertise and different things that they do.
Geico is close back. Yeah, I agree with you.
Jack in the Box, they're pretty good too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen their teriyaki bowl commercial, but it's hilarious.
Well, in the South, we don't have a Jack in the Box.
Yeah, that's all Texas.
West Coast.
I've had Jack in the Box somewhere.
It's amazing. They have everything on their menu.
They do. You can get like a side of ribeye.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, let me get a hot dog, nachos, and the veal. Okay.
With some mashed potatoes and...
Is that roasted duck?
Yeah.
Quail. I'll have cranberry sauce.
So Bud Light, in their promotional attempts, they are going to give Browns fans free beer if the team wins. They've set up these vending machines all around town in the city of Cleveland, and they are set to unlock, and you can get free beer out of them when the Browns win. Now, I assume they've got all these remote devices in them that will unlock them as soon as they win a game.
I also assume that they're monitoring these things closely. That way they're not just stolen.
Well, yeah, why would, that's right. Why wouldn't anybody just walk up and bash the glass in and take all the beer?
Jimmy, back up the truck.
Give it time. Give it time.
But the
Browns are 0-6.
It's called the Bud Light Browns Victory Fridge. And they say it's a fun way to celebrate and reward a fan base that has never wavered in their enthusiasm. Which is true. They have a great fan base. And God knows they haven't had a team in about
Bernie Kosar.
40 years.
Yeah.
Maybe the Kosar years.
Yeah, Bernie Kosar.
They were very competitive. He was the thinking man's quarterback, and now he's usually drunk out of his skull.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty
John
genius
Elway
way
beat him,
for Bud Light
drove
to
down the field, the 99-yard drive.
The drive.
The drive. They fumbled going into the end zone, the only chance they had.
Yeah.
That is a very kind of like, kick you right in the
the dog pound.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of an interesting thing there. Yeah. I don't know what.
Sorry, we saw a picture.
Is it not just a pain in the dick hole where if you and I'm sorry for getting jazzed up here, but whoever decided that we're gonna completely screw with the internet and any page that you pull up, if you tap in an area or you try to tap in an area, a pop-up ad comes up instead of where you're trying to tap and completely screws your whole rhythm of what you're trying to do.
That is kind of like the guy that invented spam. He has since apologized very much so.
How did he not get off?
One of them. You're dead.
What sense does any advertising make that nobody wants to look at?
It doesn't matter because you're not getting paid for it. The person that did it is getting paid for it.
Well, these dickheads out there in these advertising companies, they're just thinking of ways to make your day worse.
By the way, Jason just got a pop-up on the screen. That's where that tangent came from.
Yeah, he got really upset about it. Yeah.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when, because everything's touchscreen. So I say we go back to DOS.
You have really big fingers. Maybe you accidentally did it on your own.
What are you trying to say about my fingers?
They're really big fingers. He's got big hands, like frying pans.
Yeah. It's like grabbing a stalk of bananas.
Mm-hmm. It's got Jimmy Dean sausages for
You know what that means.
Hey-o.
All right, so we pulled up the story to touch back on, and now I guess we talked about it 3 weeks in a row.
Can we make it quick?
We can make it quick. The Urban Meyer, the board met to decide his fate, and they came out after meeting for, I think it was 11 hours. It took them 11 hours.
Something like that.
To give him a 3-game suspension.
Oh.
Now, there again,
they really dropped the hammer on him.
He didn't know. Yeah. He had no idea, but he did his best. But he did know.
I don't even think he's going to miss a conference game.
Yeah.
Because all, these games early on are all puff games or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, did he commit these? His crime in this was enabling this guy.
Can I say,
a little bit,
in my conspiracy theory mind, that this just goes all the way back to Zach Smith's dad, that coached the team, and
this was his grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, Earl Bruce.
Yeah.
Former coach of Ohio State, and gave Urban Meyer his start.
And who knows how long this has been going on?
Since the dawn of time.
Since forever.
Dinosaurs has been going on. But once again, like I said before, he's not. I mean, where was he that good of a coach that you were like, you know what, this is totally worth it? But then, you know what? I'll go even deeper. That Urban Meyer had no choice in the matter. He had no choice. Someone higher up in the him told him, like, you know what, you're gonna have to do it.
You think so?
I don't know about that. Either way, his 3-game suspension, and I think it's purely symbolic
because, look, if you're going to punish the guy, punish the guy. Obviously, they just wanted to make it look like... I hate to say it. It looked like they gave a shit because clearly their focus is going to be more on football.
Yeah.
I know that it's ideal to imagine that they... Look, I'm sure they care, but at the same time, their focus is still going to be on football and winning games. And that's unfortunate, but it's also realistic. That's what makes them money.
It is.
And but my thing is, if you're going to punish the guy, punish him. Have him sit out the season, something like that. Don't just give him a 3-game slap on the wrist and say, "Oh, we good? All right, everybody happy?" Which is essentially what they're doing with this.
It is, but where the confusion comes into play is somebody brought up a point on sports radio. Where's the NCAA in this? The NCAA jumps at every chance to screw over a player.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, there's been examples of players getting 4 games for the tattoo thing at Ohio State.
Yeah.
For trading tattoos for memorabilia that they had. Game-worn jerseys and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, you're going to tell me that is a worse offense than enabling a coach to do all the things that he did? I mean, the story... You were saying, what did he do in the White House? His opportunity to go to the White House.
Yep.
It's not a fun dungeon to go whip your dick out and do stupid shit. However,
this guy, he's visiting the White House with the team, and he's like, perfect time.
Woo!
Dick pic.
He takes a dick pic.
Hey, George Washington,
from the White House.
Check this out.
Now, listen, yeah.
You crossing Delaware? Cross this, bitch.
What do you think of that, Martha Washington?
I'm gonna do all those forced perspective things of my dick and the Washington Monument, so it looks like the same size.
That's in the mall, by the way. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is in the mall.
Now, don't get it wrong. The White House has probably been a place for all sorts of debauchery things.
Yeah.
There's been much worse.
Kennedy. Clinton.
Yeah.
And we were joking around earlier, like, look, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You probably will. It might not be the first thing you do, but
I got to go to the White House,
but
I'm pretty sure my dick never made it out of my pants.
I would hope not.
You didn't go to the bathroom one time in the White House?
Nope. I wasn't even going to do that.
No?
I don't know if it...
I'll hold it.
Number 1 or number 2? I just want to know how much time we got.
But that's what this guy... That should tell you everything you need to know about this guy.
Sure.
That's what... Well, the White House is a great honor.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me.
He probably was like, okay, this is my time right here. So I got to go behind the vending machine.
So this is the guy that Urban Meyer's covering for. He only got 3 games. It's clear that they don't care about the actual punishment of him or whatever. So they're going to move on. They're going
3 weeks from now, we won't hear about it, and we'll be talking about the wishbone and whatever offense Ohio State's running.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He was lucky, while whipping his dick out in the White House, that he did not contact
the Donovanosis.
Donovanosis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first documented case of Donovanosis has been reported in the United Kingdom. It's generally not found in those parts of Europe. But
in case you're wondering, Donovanosis is what?
It is a described flesh-eating STD.
That's not good. That's not good.
I did check. It's not named after the Scottish folk singer Donovan, who was popular in the 80s. So,
it didn't come from him.
No.
We back up our facts here.
Donovanosis, also called granuloma.
Mm-hmm.
Granuloma.
That's a granuloma.
That's good.
Granuloma inguinale.
Granuloma.
I am a cunning linguist.
Yes, he is.
Granuloma inguinale.
Granuloma.
Granuloma.
That's the.
It's called granola ignuli.
There we go.
That's
we
it.
go.
Some kind of ignorant granola bar.
Donovanosis, it's a bacterial infection that's transmitted through vaginal or anal intercourse, or rarely through oral sex.
I do like that it's vaginal or anal, and that it just does not discriminate.
Nope.
And oral.
And
I
oral.
mean, it's
Rarely, but... Yeah.
The infection is common in tropical and developing parts of the world. Why is it developing parts of the world? Developed is okay, it's fine.
You can't say third world anymore.
Yeah,
It's
essentially,
incorrect.
when it comes to developing areas of the world, they tend to have lower standards of healthcare and medicine, and that's why you don't see it as often.
Third world
And
countries.
the United Kingdom is interesting because it's anything but tropical.
That means,
Across the pond.
well, maybe he went on holiday.
Wait, I'm going there for spring break. It should be great.
Prepare for an English summer.
It says it's common in the areas of India, Guyana, New Guinea, Central Australia. I guess not the coast. Y'all are fine out there.
Boy.
In southern Africa.
What is it with Australia? Because, I guess you find this there, and chlamydia is
Rampant.
absolutely rampant amongst koalas.
Koalas.
Really?
Yeah, you never knew that?
Yeah, the koala chlamydia.
No, I'm sorry.
Say that 5 times
It's
fast.
a real thing. Koalas are essentially almost being eliminated by a strain
You said riddled.
Riddle.
Yeah,
Riddled with the clap.
they're dying.
Riddle me.
There's a strain of chlamydia that affects koalas.
Why
And
aren't
they're
we
just
looking into
nuts.
this? Peter just
What are koalas doing out there?
Fucking.
Everything.
banned animal crackers in, you remember the animal crackers? When,
Yeah.
they had them in little choo-choo trains and they had the little,
the bars on the...
bars.
Yeah.
PETA
No, PETA
banned
didn't.
that.
No, PETA didn't. The company that makes animal crackers decided they
because
were tired of
PETA was
taking shit
busting their
for it.
balls. So, yes, essentially PETA was like, you know what? This is what we're going to spend our money on to make sure that people know that animal crackers aren't caged.
Yeah. Anymore.
They're fucking crackers.
Free range.
They're crackers.
Crackers.
Cookies or crackers. I don't know how you want to describe them. Are they cookies or crackers? I don't know. Okay?
It's a biscuit.
Really?
I wonder if male koalas are just going from limb to limb, talking to female koalas like,
No,
hey.
baby.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Hello.
You like some dirty koala dick?
And then they went, oi!
Fuck right, I would.
No shrimp on the bobby.
Don't worry, love. We've all got it.
Well, yeah, koalas are
It's
just
rampant.
decimated by this strain of chlamydia.
Like koalas are a bunch of whores, man. They need to keep it in their pants.
Apparently they are.
Anything flesh-eating, though, scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, we were reading on how it says it shouldn't be. It's not as scary as it sounds. I'm like, no, flesh eating is.
Yeah, you say flesh
exactly
eating.
as scary as it needs to be.
No.
That makes me think of the movie Aliens. You know,
Y'all got there.
It
Y'all completely got there.
just blows your brain through your face. You know, that's all.
But there's not much to worry about.
Don't be scared.
It'll be fine.
It's like it's like an enema. It sounds worse than it is. Like no, that sounds pretty bad.
So for the first time in the UK, donabinosis was reported.
Yeah, I believe it was they didn't give the exact age, but I think they said it was somewhere between the ages of 14 and 16. It was a 14 to 16-year-old female that contracted it, and now they're trying to get an idea of other partners she's had, so that they can see.
Did it have anything to do with the koala?
Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you about this. Are you calling because my dick just fell off? I hope that's why you're calling.
Something's eating my flesh right
maybe.
now.
Maybe.
It's like literally my flesh is getting eaten as we speak.
My fucking dick just fell. Please tell me that's why you're calling.
G'day. There's nothing down under. Not anymore. It ate my flesh off. Oi! And by flesh, I mean my cock.
Yeah. Yeah, in extreme. Here's the weird thing about. No, I say like this is the one weird thing about STDs, but anytime that they go into.
My bullet point of the weird thing of this whole conversation. You go ahead.
Anytime they show pictures or whatnot, it's usually in people that are already like either immunosuppressed or otherwise compromised. They're gonna, the worst case scenario is usually what you see pictures of, where it's like, God, what the fuck happened down? It's like somebody punched a lasagna. It just looks disgusting.
What was that picture that was going around for a couple of years?
The blue waffle.
Blue waffle.
No.
But yeah, that's why parts of the article were saying
man,
it's
you
not
really
as bad
gotta
as
check
it
out
sounds.
2 Girls, 1 Cup. No.
No, that's
That's one of those moments I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah.
And everything.
Never did it. Won't do it. Never did it.
And that was the early days of
the internet.
That was before YouTube.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I saw it.
We're talking like
circa
BearShare, LimeWire days.
2002?
Yeah.
Mhm.
2004 maybe.
2003 maybe?
What, for 2 Girls, 1 Cup?
Yeah.
It was
Something like that.
2004 because I was
Something like
here.
that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, there was all these crazy sites, and
You have
it
to
was
do
all
it.
shotgun.
I'm like, tell me what it is. And they told me, and I'm like, no, come on, man. I looked at it. You have to look. No, I don't.
yeah, and then
really.
basically it was just trying to get people's reactions of it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's kind of how YouTube started. Where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
look at this guy looking at this thing.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
On the topic,
Yay! Moving on.
on the topic of people in power or in important positions doing really stupid stuff.
This guy is so important.
The great town of Beaufort, Georgia, which I go to on a regular basis
Beautiful town.
with the old day job.
I believe it.
I do.
It's
The
not beautiful.
superintendent, the Georgia superintendent of schools, I guess, there
Yeah.
Is that right?
In Beaufort.
in Beaufort. The headline of this story kind of says it all. There's an audio, and this is, let me reference this site. It's from a site called The Root, and that has nothing to do with the movie Roots. Or was that a series?
It was a mini-series.
Of course it was. From the
Of course it was.
Mm-hmm.
from this article, the headline is Audio Recording Catches Georgia School Superintendent Using N-Word Like It's 1799.
He said neither instead of neither.
And sure enough,
Damn it.
this guy
That asshole.
is lily white. And let's see here.
Yeah, his name is, it says here in this article, Guy Hamby. It's spelled G-E-Y-E, and they put in front of it, he's pronounced alternatively as Guy or racist anal douche.
Yeah. I thought it was
So the writing of
George,
this-
typical white guy.
And this article we're reading is being referenced it's actually referencing the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is the major paper in the Atlanta area. And the Beaufort School superintendent, he's the focus of a lawsuit after a former employee is charging discrimination. And as part of the court filings, they found some audio recordings of him on a construction site.
Colorful language?
Oh, that's a little on the nose there, isn't it? Yeah, that's
yeah, you think?
He's using it a lot, and he's using it like shamelessly too. It's not even like I obviously can't think of a context where this could have been a joke, but no, he it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it was about employees and them doing work, and yep.
Just let your imagination go from
there.
That's
right. Channeling his inner plantation-owning personality.
Yep. And that's your school superintendent in Beaufort, Georgia. Beaufort, not Beaufort.
Is there a Beaufort?
There's a Beaufort.
Now I'm curious. How long ago did he make these comments? I'm not agreeing with
obviously, it was not 1790.
Are you looking for
correct?
Are you looking for the statute of limitations on the N word?
No, I'm just curious.
Because just go ask.
Did someone like he said it in 1972?
Oh no! This is within like the past couple years.
Yeah, which doesn't make it right if you said it in 1972.
Well, no, I get what you're saying with that. Well, let's say that a recording surfaced of some guy saying something in the 50s. Again, it doesn't make it right. Some poor
kid said something when he was 14, and now he's 23, which has come up.
Oh no! All those stories with the athletes.
Yeah,
and tweets.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Tweets that they had when they were in high school.
When he was like 14 years old.
Okay, that's a little different. It's just like with James Gunn, they're going after him all the time for stuff that he tweeted more than a decade ago. But this is completely different. This wasn't like when he was... This guy's in his 60s, I believe, so this wasn't like he was 12 years old saying this at a construction site. Yeah. And it's not like this was back in the 50s where that was just part of the vernacular, and it wasn't uncommon to hear that word. Yeah. This was within the last just couple years.
Weeks, okay. A couple years, something like that, yeah.
And there is no statute of limitations on that. Just ask Paula Deen.
No, yeah.
Who's basically had her empire taken away for something she said 30-something years ago.
No, I'm not too incensed about Paula Deen, only because, one of her primary ingredients is just like butter or fat.
Duh.
She was killing people.
If I was going to make a pork-flavored butter stuffed in butter.
She was killing folks.
With bacon.
Killing them with deliciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That is true, man. You put butter on anything and it's
it tastes good, but
you're dying.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
Deliciously
we all are.
from the inside.
All dying one day at a time. You might as well enjoy it.
Might as well go out and style and
in a
happiness.
blaze of glory.
That would suck to just not allow yourself to enjoy anything in life and then get hit by a bus.
Yeah. I eat salads every day and then a meteor falls out of the sky. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, this
well, the Space
Force?
Space Force is supposed to take out the incoming asteroids. I do believe.
Space Force. Yeah. Johnny Douchebag. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I guess they're taking some editorial liberties here with how they're describing him, but
sure, but
he probably
this
deserves
it. The Beaufort School District was ranked as the top district in Georgia last year.
Nice.
Now, as the superintendent of that district.
Now, okay,
he is the guy.
So he's got to be somewhat responsible for their performance.
Yeah.
Right.
You mean he whips them into shape? Wow.
Too soon.
Too good.
Man,
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's got to have some level of responsibility for them being number one. Okay. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about schools being great.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
It is.
Is it important enough to keep this guy around?
No.
You don't think so? Just because he used some colorful language?
It'd be one thing.
Depends on if he's genuine with it. Because someone can fudge the numbers, so
what
to speak.
What if
some of them...
What if him not being there makes the Buford School District go into a downward spiral.
There's a lot of them
Now
county
your
people
kids are suffering because this guy can't be around because he's incredibly racist. It's a real contradiction, is what I'm saying.
And unfortunately, there's still a lot of assholes out there.
Okay, this is what I was thinking too about this whole. I know we try to avoid being too political or anything like that, and I could honestly care less about who the president is for the most part. I really think of it as a short-term thing where a billion things have to be in place for things to actually happen. So it's not just one guy.
Well,
what I think is whoever the president is, and Trump is just a great example of it with the current climate of everything, to where he's being everything is in more of a microscope than anything. Now that position is going to be dissected by the media for everything. Yeah. But the way I look at it is the questions that are being asked to the White House press secretary, who I've actually grown to enjoy her ability to filter through bullshit.
She should get paid like $10 million a day.
She should,
almost.
though.
Yeah.
You really think so?
Look. The first part of her being in there, I was like, wow, this is the most awful person in the face of the planet.
Any press secretary.
But
secretary.
Start listening to some of the questions that get asked by the press.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's TMZ type questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're asking questions based on what the president is saying. That's the problem. If he wasn't saying some of this stuff, they wouldn't be asking her some of these things.
What I want to get to is it's the president of the United States. Regardless of how crazy he is, leave him alone. Now,
just leave him alone.
I know that's a blanket statement.
What? Leave Britney alone.
I know he won't allow anybody to leave him alone. His 4 a.m. tweets.
Yeah, that's the problem. He is the problem. Okay. If he would just shut up.
Okay. So
nobody would have anything
to talk about. As a responsible press,
I'm a hippie-owned kid. Yeah.
Should you not let's just focus on asking important questions about stuff that's relative to our national state of.
They try to.
No.
And
some of the questions that I hear them asking in some of these
are completely related to things he's said and done.
I get that, but it has no bearing on what's actually going on in the job he's actually having to do, is my point.
Well, I mean,
I try to remove. I guess it's focusing on just all the silly stuff, and just keep harping on. Did you know? Did you really know?
Okay, I get what you're saying about maybe leave out some of the tabloid journalism type questions, but at the same time, when they were asking, like, okay, what did he mean when he said that he doesn't believe that Russia did this, or does he really believe he's accomplished this with Kim Jong-un? All these things.
Those questions are fine. I'm talking about,
and the responses are just as bullshit, though.
They are. Look, I'm not defending him on that sort of stuff.
I mean,
I'm saying
the
press,
too,
the press engaging him. He's the president. He's got the amount of stuff that any president has to deal with on a daily basis. Is we have no concept of what that is.
Well, I understand.
So, as somebody in the press,
I wish y'all could see my head. It's snapping back and forth right now. Listen,
you're going to be badgering. You're going to be badgering the press secretary, and you're getting a bullshit answer anyway. So why ask the question?
Well, that's the other thing.
It's a waste of a question, I guess.
She is. I have very little sympathy for her because she is such a bullshit artist. She is
incredibly bullshit artist,
and she has no shame about it.
Every
but then
single
has the
one
nerve
of
them to
gets paid
about it.
to do that. Every single press secretary, from Obama to George W. to Jimmy Carter, that's what they get paid for, is to filter through all that bullshit. And now the last 4 presidents, really with social media and stuff like that,
it's a whole
they're the
different
one that it's a whole different ballgame.
And Trump isn't doing himself any favors with the things he says.
Granted,
that's the problem.
I totally get that.
I don't know who
I totally get that. So compartmentalize it. Compartmentalize it to the president and what he has to actually deal with on a daily basis, and the press badgering him about questions that don't help him do his job.
turning the screws. That's all they're trying to do is get.
He's just as culpable, but say the next president, because there will be a next president, and that's what I mean about.
You think so? I don't know.
He's in it for life.
Hmm?
What amendment was that limited the terms? Was it the 22nd, maybe 23rd?
Let's say yes.
We can look it up.
I smell a things we fucked up portion.
Well, we get.
But whatever amendment limited the terms of the president.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's actually trying to forcefully get that removed? So I don't think
right now, this is no fun at all.
Well, when he goes around saying things like, maybe Trump for life wouldn't be such a bad thing since the Chinese president just essentially abolished the restrictions on it. Yeah, you have to wonder if he's thinking about things like that.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure other presidents have thought about that too, though. I don't know, and not to go down the political road. I think we all agree to try to avoid that, but
personally, I think all three of us just want the best for our country.
I just say leave him alone.
We want the best of our country.
Even if he wants to antagonize you with stupid shit, just say, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Trump, you can almost say
can we talk about
the moron.
Can we talk about the budget? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk.
They gotta be adults in the room too.
I mean, the deficit's blowing up. He says all these nonsense things, though.
He does.
He says it. The worst part is he says it to the people through Twitter.
He should stop doing that.
If he would stop doing that and put out actual releases that are filtered by the White House, some of these things might actually make sense. People are like, oh, that's a good idea.
All right, Super Dave's about to etch-a-sketch this conversation right now. We need to etch-a-sketch this conversation. All right, we try to draw boobs. They turn out to be square. We're done.
By the way, I did check really quick. It is the 22nd Amendment that was turned on its own.
All right.
Yay. Bing. That's right. I believe it was the 22nd Amendment.
Yes. Nailed it.
Yes.
When the crowd goes
wild.
Thank
you.
Survey says.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
So I had an idea for a thought rant.
Thought rant.
If you two will indulge me here.
Seatbelts fastened.
Okay. Leverage. It's an interesting thing. It's very important in a lot of situations in your life. Leverage can make things swing one way or the other in certain situations which you're dealing with.
Well, that's
metaphor. I like that.
It is. But it's something that
science
that's happened in all sorts of different situations through the years.
Sure.
One of the greatest examples of using leverage, and leverage can be anything from physical leverage to
moving a hot tub. Yeah.
Moving a hot tub, which
making a refrigerator fit,
forcing a refrigerator to fit. That also happened. Yeah. But leverage can be knowledge. Over the other party when you're in negotiations. A story that I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about, which I don't know if you guys have spent much time listening to anything that he does or that he's on. He is an incredible orator when it comes to dispensing really intelligent information to make you understand it.
He's a little pompous sometimes, but at the same time, I think he is an excellent speaker, and he does have a genuine interest in not only just learning things, but finding a way to relate that knowledge to others. And he does it in the best way that he can to make it easily understandable.
Yes.
But there are also other times where he's incredibly arrogant.
Oh, of course he is.
But he's kind of earned it, though. You know?
He has. But he does a really good job of making you interested in what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And that... whatever subject you're talking about, if you've got the ability to draw people in and then make them understand something that's maybe incredibly difficult to understand, then you're going to be successful with it. But he was really going into some historical facts and talking about things like how we came to be the type of people we are in North America, the rise and fall of the oceans that created the Bering Strait land bridge, and then the the level of the oceans rose to close that off. But that's how people from Asia traveled over to North America and settled the continent of North America.
Yeah, Alaska and coming through.
Yeah, that's right. He described one of the most important things in the history of the human race to be Columbus coming over to the Americas.
That is a big turning point.
It's what completed the cross-pollination. Yeah. Because after that land bridge, the level of the ocean rose and covered that land bridge. Yeah. Now, all those people that were in North America were completely...
Yeah. Europe was isolated from North America.
That's right, completely isolated.
Yeah, the world's still flat at this point for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well,
it is today.
You say that, but that's a little bit of a...
I know the Vikings had made it sort of...
No, I was going to say that's a misconception. Most people had actually, by the time of Columbus, had already accepted that the world was round. It's just...
we really don't know that because we weren't around in 1492. Just let everyone know.
You're right. I can't argue that point. Be that as it may, for the most part, it was accepted that the world was not flat.
The amazing thing, and part of what Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about, is the use of astronomy and astrology.
For navigation?
It was all for navigation purposes, right? And at the time, Columbus was... he was working for the Spanish... Crown, I guess. Yeah, I was going to say monarchy. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. But that's what they were all doing. That's what Great Britain was doing. Yeah. That's what Spain was doing.
Essentially, they would look to see who would sponsor their...
The Irish were they were getting drunk and not getting tans. Everybody else was getting out there and trying to make it happen.
But he wanted Italy initially, right? And they wouldn't do it.
He was Portuguese.
So he went to Spain. And, Portuguese or something like
that. The thing is, at the time, I think they were all under the control of Spain anyway. So really, if you want to get sponsorship, you go to the whoever the monarch is.
Yeah. Spain was like his third option or something. They were like, fuck it. You get 3 ships. Go.
Hey, guys, Germany's out. I thought you said they said 9.
Yeah. Not let her go.
You said they were giving us 9 ships. No, that meant no ships.
No ships. Oh. That's a U-boat, not a me boat. So Tyson describes the Columbus coming over to the Americas as one of the most important, or the most important thing in the history of the human race, because it completed the cross-pollination and the melding of the entire world together.
Sure.
Right? Now, Columbus, and I don't have all the details of all the different shitty things that he did to the natives, but it's pretty well documented that he was a complete cocksucker.
Yeah, he's not necessarily celebrated by anybody outside of himself.
Nor should he be.
It's just like General Custer. No one was like, man, he was a hell of a guy. I'll tell you what.
He was.
Well, I think the difference between that is, look, we've got Columbus Day. We do not have a Custer Day.
That's true.
They could be similar.
And the Columbus Day is ridiculous because we all know the truth is that he was
accidentally.
This was an accidental thing.
Yeah. Also, his whole that's the weird thing because nowadays we're more aware of how bad Columbus was, but I know that we're of an age that we were kids. That wasn't brought up.
No, it was not at all.
It was basically like, hey, guess who discovered this? Isn't he great? You're like, oh yeah.
And that's what was in the book, and that was what was on the
elementary school. Like we made little pictures and we had little hats during that day.
But now kids are learning, and everybody is more aware. Like, oh, this guy's an asshole.
We get a half day.
So it's only within the last decade and a half, maybe, that the rose-colored glasses of him have been taken off.
That's right.
And really, when I started hearing things about it, I'm like, it makes sense since they were always ragging on how the conquistadors pretty much just ravaged South America. And I'm like, wait, who brought them? Oh.
And the diseases that they brought over took out like whole.
Now, interesting you talk about diseases.
Yeah.
Obviously, Columbus and his crew brought a lot of stuff over from Europe, and the Native Americans weren't able to metabolize
firewater.
Those things. Alcohol's been a problem for them since then because of that. But gonorrhea, I believe, or maybe it is chlamydia, was actually given by the Native Americans to Columbus, and Columbus brought that to Europe. There were no cases of that before Columbus returned to Europe.
This is what you were talking about when you say cross-pollination.
That's right. It's exactly how it sounds.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Montezuma had his revenge, and I guess Squanto had his own as well. That's
running with itch.
Oh, man. Why can't we just all get along? You know?
Peas with a fist. Yeah.
So on the subject of leverage and how leverage was used here.
Full circle.
And the use of astronomy and astrology back then to navigate their understanding of those things, Columbus ran into an interesting situation where he had made two trips. Well, he originally landed in 1492. We all know that.
Yeah.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Sure.
Yeah.
He made 2 more trips back to Spain, and he needed to make a third.
Okay.
But there had been some things that had happened with a couple of his ships, and he did not have the supplies needed to make the voyage. So his only option was to go to the natives, where they had what the natives did is they kept a stockpile every year, but it was only for exactly what they needed.
Well,
they didn't have a surplus.
No, because that was their culture,
right?
Yeah.
So when he went to ask them for extra supplies to be able to make his voyage back, it was the only way. Otherwise, he was going to be stranded and never make it back. They said, no, we don't have extra. We only gather. We're hunters and we're gatherers. We only hunt and gather exactly what we're going to need for the winter.
They didn't have a concept of extra.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
they were the ants and Columbus was the grasshopper.
Well, how much do we need? Yeah. We're done.
Well, yeah, because they have very symbiotic nature with their surroundings. They're not going to hunt more animals than they need because that'd be pointless. They're not going to take more crops than they need because, once again, that takes too much. And their concept of wealth was nowhere near the European concept of it.
So what Columbus had when he was told no, what he had in his back pocket was some knowledge of astronomy. And he knew that that this was going to happen in a week's time, that there was going to be a lunar eclipse.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Really? So
did he really do that?
So what he did, he understood that this was an opportunity for him to concoct a story.
Make him look like a magician type.
That make him look what he did. He used his God versus their God.
Oh, man.
So he went back to the natives.
About to knock the other guy out.
He went back to the natives and he said, if you do not supply my ship with what I need, I will have my God take away your moon.
The forest moon of Endor.
Knowing that this is coming, knowing that this is going to happen, the natives obviously had no clue. So once this happened, they completely freaked out and gave him everything that he needed.
Can we go back in time and
shoot Columbus?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, that is the story of the use of leverage.
Yeah.
If I've ever heard a story in my life.
Yeah.
His calculations, he used it's called the Regiomontanus. John, you better do this. What the fuck
where
is that word?
Where are you looking at this?
The
Regiomontanus? Regiomontanus.
Regiomontanus, that's it.
It's pronounced almanac.
The Regiomontanus almanac is what he used.
Really, guys?
Really? Are you sure it's not the Farmer's Almanac?
That's what
they're pretty spot on with a lot of things.
That's what eventually became that.
Yeah, sailors back then, they've been doing it for a while. They know where the...
So this was how he used leverage in order to gain what he needed over these natives.
Yeah.
He knew that they had no clue that this was about to happen.
They also had gunpowder and be like, this is my boomstick.
Well,
this is my crazy stick.
I think probably one of the reasons he didn't go that route with it was because he would have to come back, and I don't think he was I'm sure he was confident enough to think, I can just take it if I want to, but he also knew that it would be useful to have people that know what's going on over here that can help us out.
Absolutely.
It's just, he essentially...
He had to use the natives, and all of the Europeans had to. They were the resource. They knew the land. They knew how to farm the land.
This is the equivalent of me going back to the Stone Age with a Zippo.
But long story short, they came back over here and took over the whole country. And now the Native Americans, most of the tribes are extinct or they get no love.
Or in casinos.
Or casinos. Well, they deserve it. They deserve no taxes or anything because...
That's crazy talk. No, that's my cousin. Crazy talk.
Crazy talk? Well done.
This
joke.
This is my uncle. Walks while slurring. But that's an incredible use of what leverage is. Yeah. And leverage can be, there again, it can be something physical. It can be just knowledge you have or someone else.
And who knows at that point in time, too, maybe they were like, we're this close to, killing every one of y'all because we can do that.
That's right.
But, I mean, yeah, Europe was, especially when you go further back to Greek, the Greeks and whatnot, they've been studying the stars for centuries at that point. They not only had they been studying astronomy for the purposes of time, but for navigation as well.
Navigation, time.
Now, it would make sense that the Native Americans probably didn't think of it that way. Because, also, when you think about their culture, their whole concept of creation, stars mean something completely different to them than they do overseas. Sure. So, it's clever. It's one of those things where, it'd be really funny. It would be kind of funny if it just kind of backfired on them. We're like, see, my God did this. Nice try, Paleface.
No, that's an eclipse.
We call that an eclipse.
No, sorry. We knew that. We just wanted to see where you're going with this. All right.
We were interested to know what you called it.
Hey, he fell for it.
Yeah.
Kill him.
We're going to eat you. You know that, right?
And they call us savages.
We're going to cover in honey and see what happens.
We are.
Ha ha.
I can't believe you fell for that.
It's called a joke. Ha ha.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, man. Why can't we just all get along? How about that?
Fuck it.
Well, they did get along. In Columbus, it's not like he was going to be the only person. Had he not done it, everybody was sending ships. He was just the first person to run into land.
Yeah. Think about that. It was an inevitability.
There were ships out there doing the exact same thing. He just happened to be the first one to go.
Their whole mentality is instead of going around the Cape of Africa and going around that way, we're just going to go around.
A quicker trade route to India.
It made sense, too. There had to be other people like, it might be easier just to go that way.
But believe it or not, some people still thought the world was flat.
It is.
They thought
Kyrie Irving proved it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah, the flat earthers.
Money, but you're just gonna fall off somewhere.
The flat earthers. It was really interesting to listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was just on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it was really, the stuff he was explaining was pretty incredible. There's a lot of stuff about, the space wars, or the space
Force.
Spaceballs.
Space Ghost. Space Force, right?
Spaceballs.
Space Force.
Spaceballs. We ain't found shit. But talking about how there's no way that there can actually be a war in space, and he was explaining the astronomy of it and the physics.
There can't be a war in space.
And he was shitting all over every space movie that there's ever been. It's almost like we've worked in F&B a long time. For me personally, I'll explain that whenever I go into a restaurant, it's hard for me to just enjoy the dining experience without noticing every single thing that they're doing wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an astronomer, he can't watch Star Wars and not point out every thing that doesn't make sense.
It's a natural instinct for him to notice things that just don't make sense. Just like, anybody that's ever been in the military, anytime they watch a military movie, they're like, yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
He's wearing this wrong. This guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, you could actually do... Yeah, it's hard. But at the same time, you have to realize, you know, it's just a fucking movie, right?
No, my dad was the same way.
This
Like,
is not...
he'd be like, no, his patch is about, you know,
his
about a
ribbons are
quarter
in the wrong
inch
place.
too low.
Yeah,
Right.
but at the same time, it's a movie, not a documentary. Completely different.
But the accuracy thing, he said that James Cameron re-released, it was for the
Abyss?
100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. He re-released a director's cut of the movie Titanic.
Of course he did. He's like,
but he contacted Neil deGrasse Tyson because he wanted to make sure that it was so pointless, the stuff that he was talking about that he said was wrong. When Rose is looking out at the sky, it's the wrong sky.
You know, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
No. From an accuracy standpoint, because if they're looking up and there's a picture of stars, and this trip was supposed to have gone from Europe to the United States, if she's looking at
the stars will be
constellation
in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah,
John, did you just say it's just a movie?
No,
Did you just say that?
No, but that's what he was saying.
I understand the point why James Cameron was like, by the way, I want to make this as accurate as possible. You know, you made this movie 20 years ago. It's late.
They were going
and the only thing authentic about the movie was the fact that the boat sunk.
Yeah, they got that right. Yeah.
No, I remember reading their articles at the time too. Were like, you know, it'd be physically impossible for the boat to have sunk like this. And they've done it plenty since then, where they're like it more likely sank like this. But again, it's just a fucking movie.
Yeah, good. Let's go back in time and you get on the boat and you tell me how it works out for you.
Right after I visit Columbus,
I will have order here. I will have order. Did that guy really say that? I hope he did. I would have shot them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies,
Billy Zane, fuck you.
I'm looking forward to about 3 weeks from now, The Predator comes out.
Don't look forward to it. I think it's gonna suck. I mean, I don't know.
I almost thought it was like a new series on the Sci-Fi. I didn't think it was an actual movie.
Yeah, what's his face from Key and Peele is in there. He's in
Keegan-Michael Key.
Keegan-Michael Key.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't care.
He's some army special forces.
How do we make
a
better Predator? Let's make him 17 feet tall.
Yeah, they have a bigger Predator now. Yeah.
Let's make him a priest.
I don't know. Why can't we just do another? Yeah, god damn it. They're going to ruin it. It's going to be... I hope it's better. Let me know. Go ahead and spend your $18 and move there, John.
Father Crab
know how it works.
I'll watch it on a Tuesday when it's half price.
Tuesday.
Matinee.
Matinee.
Yeah.
When it's only $30. So damn expensive to go to a movie.
They only take a half pint of blood.
All right, let me get a small Coke and a small popcorn. All right, that'll be $48.
Cash or credit?
You take check? Oh, sweet.
Can I take out a loan?
For another week.
Yeah, we've got an office right over there.
Do you really think that movie's going to be good?
I'm looking forward to it. Mostly, there's a reason. It's because it's being, I think, written and directed by Shane Black, and he is responsible for, I think, one of the Iron Man movies. He was also Hawkins in the original Predator. He's got a good background with writing and directing, so I'm looking forward to it.
You've given me no reason to go see that movie.
One
of the Iron Mans? I'm not sure.
One
of the good ones, I think. I'm not sure.
How many Predator movies have they made?
Ooh, 7, 6?
If you don't count the Alien vs. Predator ones?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
You gotta count that.
Oh, then right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be number 6.
They're getting into, the Friday the 13th realm?
No.
They went, 10 deep?
Beyond that.
Beyond it.
I mean,
yeah, wasn't
Nightmare on Elm Street. And
it was Jason X, and that was the 10th one, and it was in space.
Yeah.
How did he walk to space?
I'd like to see.
That's all the guy can do is walk.
I think we need to try and contact Neil deGrasse Tyson for his opinion.
Yes. The accuracy.
Yeah, somehow Usain Bolt cannot outrun Jason Voorhees in the woods. He just keep tripping.
Well, okay, they did the they did the reboot a couple years ago, and they did kind of explain how he just pops up out of nowhere.
How do they explain it, John?
There's this, particularly in these set of woods, there's this underground system of tunnels.
He's actually Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's an underground system of tunnels that he would use to just go fuck yourself.
I'm listening. Yeah. The Underground Railroad of Jason Voorhees of.
Jason Voorhees Tubman.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Whatever, Richard Dawson. Just go back to the podium until it's time to play the feud. Yeah, I get it.
I think
they explained it how he kind of showed up out of nowhere. No, that was interesting.
Billy, what's that?
Oh my God, should we go like skinny dipping in the pond again?
I don't know, baby. I think like 85 people died in that pond.
I don't know, let's just do it.
You're right. You cannot resist the power of boners.
That's a good thing he doesn't have an underground railroad to come get us.
I never said railroad.
You pretty much said that.
Underground system of tunnels.
Sorry.
Wait, like the Viet Cong?
Kinda.
Harriet Tubman and Jason Voorhees.
We do your nail?
Well done. And
It is.
Wow.
Anywho, I'm done.
All right. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us this week. We do appreciate everybody here on.
Can I say one thing real quick? Whoever called in a bomb threat to Arlington National Cemetery, go fuck yourself. We can talk about that next week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Someone called in a bomb threat to the Arlington National Cemetery.
They did. I need to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, so before we go,
real quick,
we're going to touch on this
just
story.
Knock on it real quick.
This is a douche move. Look, it's a douche move to call in a bomb threat anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody can roughly agree with that. A bomb threat is just a douche thing to do.
I'm trying to think of a reasonable scenario.
There's no reasonable scenario.
No.
Well, no. Here we are. We're trying to think of. I don't know.
I really want a Taco Bell, but I don't want to wait in line.
Some douchebag called in a bomb threat to Arlington National Cemetery, which we all know is where our nation's war heroes are buried.
Right.
Or a big majority of them. It's an honor to be buried there. And Dave, obviously, you can speak to that.
Yeah, my father's buried there. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, JFK, wife, everyone like that. You know,
the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is guarded,
armed guard
by Marines 24/7.
24/7.
100 degrees or 20 degrees below zero. They're out there walking back and forth.
Rain, sleet, shine.
Yeah,
anything.
I think it's exactly 40. It's 40 some odd steps back and forth all day.
Yeah, and it's worn out. Have you ever been there, seen the ceremony?
And they will not fuck around if you try to.
They will shoot you if you come running up there.
Well,
It's no joke.
it's kind of like Buckingham Palace guards. I mean,
right.
It looks ceremonial, but it's an actual.
They might
job.
not shoot you, but you'll get the butt of their gun right in your face. You know, depending on the situation.
Well, technically, they're on guard. They're
armed guard.
They're guarding.
But the ceremony of the guards and stuff like that is beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're
and every time they let you know, and some guy comes out, whoever the commanding officer is, just like, please let all phones. And every time I've been there, somebody's phone goes off, and it pisses me off.
Isn't that awful?
No,
well, I think
that's disrespect.
It's almost the worst in the sense that I think it's almost inevitable anytime there's ever a situation where you hear somebody say, please make sure your phones are silenced. Inevitably, somebody's phone's going to fucking go off.
Inevitably. You're
Sometimes it's
right.
even the guy that said, make sure your phones are off. I'm like, wow.
Well, and he's not being polite about it. He's yelling at you.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a situation where these are legitimate sentries on duty. So they have to take it seriously. But again, it's also...
this is
it's an incredible honor
display
as well.
of something honorable and respect worthy. So the whole part about turn your phone off, that shouldn't be. It's a show of respect. We're not talking about your boss, wanting to rant.
As soon as you walk on the grounds, your phone should already be off.
That's right. It should.
As soon as you walk on.
But if it's not, they remind you.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to walk there several times and just looking at some of the headstones of some of these people, and like you're looking at someone that was like, all right, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. I'm like,
yeah,
motherfucker.
He spent essentially his whole adult life
I'm like,
fighting.
are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
but
right.
someone called it a bomb threat to Arlington a couple days ago, and may he go fuck himself.
Well, I mean, I think
but I'm not sorry.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that somebody had vandalized the memorial of the Vietnam Wall, and they caught the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But actually, I say guy, it was essentially a kid. I think he was 17. But
what would a 17-year-old have as a reason to vandalize a war?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Memorial.
I don't.
What could be going through his head to make him think that was justified?
There's part of me that wants to think that in his mind, I haven't really followed up on it all, but I'd like to think that maybe in his own way he thought he was making a statement of good, but there's so many better ways to make that statement.
I hope he was just I just want to be an asshole teenager.
Well,
that would make more sense than I'm making a statement. I hate Trump, but I have no idea about history.
But I think you know what I mean though. I want to think that somehow he thought he was doing something, but it would also be more understandable. Like he's just a fucking dick.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no good that's going to come out of that situation at all.
None.
But God bless you all out there in the military, everyone else listening to the alleged reality.
That's right. We certainly appreciate, and we appreciate you listening. But we certainly, if you are in the military, we appreciate your service.
Yes,
and I know that gets said all the time, but it's true. I mean, I don't know how. I can't speak to those things. I was never a part of the military.
I never signed my name on the dotted line, but I was an Army brat, and I grew up on bases, and
that's right.
I have nothing but 100% respect for everyone, no matter whether you're in the Coast Guard, all the way to the Marines, or anything.
Space Force.
Space Force. Yes.
You know what was interesting is the Air Force, and for those out there listening to this, and if you're in the Air Force, pardon John because he loves making fun of the Air Forces.
No, I don't love it. I just happen to enjoy it.
You do it so well.
No, really, I just make fun of Chuck.
So the Air Force was not a thing. It was the Army Air Force.
The Army Air Corps.
Right?
Yeah. It was a division of the Army. And that's why this whole Space Force thing confuses me, because part of the Air Force's mission is the Aero Expeditionary Force, which kind of takes care of outer space. But
you got to. Continue.
They're coming.
That's why it just confuses me, because as far as I understood, part of the Air Force's mission was space as well. So why we now need a separate Space Force when realistically there's
the Air Force? Well, it's being monitored and controlled by the Air Force, but now we need a Space Force.
For what?
Because it sounds way cooler. Duh.
If that was the official reason behind it just sounds cool, I'd be okay with that. If somebody,
yeah, I'm good with that.
But at the same time, when every single military advisor has said, "Yeah, we really don't need to do this," and instead, we're like, "I've just declared we're going to do it." Why?
Hey, I'm Donald Trump, and you know what? No one's coming in through my fucking space. I tell you what, this is my Milky Way.
Somehow that sounded more like Steven Seagal than Donald Trump.
Hey, you're under arrest, and
hey, light bulb, hey, Christmas tree.
I'm gonna kick him in the throat.
I'm out for justice.
Aliens
on deadly ground.
You know I'm above the law.
Space Force. All right.
Yeah.
You know there's a fire down below.
It's not Donovanosis.
What?
It's not Donovanosis. Don't get that, folks.
Not as scary as it sounds, but it's bad enough.
It is not. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this week.
Tune in next week.
We appreciate you listening. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, The Alleged Reality. Also, our
YouTube
channel, The Alleged Reality.
All right.
We appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you comment. Let us know what you're thinking out there.
Love you, world.
For Dave.
Woo!
For John,
thank you.
we are signing off. See you guys later.